Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I do movie reviews in a way of dissecting them from beginning to end, from act to act. But that's not how we're gonna do this video because there's already so many Infinity War reviews out there. At this point, it's tiring, but it's still very what's the word I want to use? It's still very fresh. It's only been a week. So I want to do it in a discussion, question and answer kind of thing. Like just to talk about things that I really liked from the movie, things that me and my friends have been discussing, my co-workers, people online, video reviews that I've watched. I just want to talk about something about Infinity War because I've been waiting for this for so long and I'm really excited. But this is not really gonna be like a review at all. But if you have not seen the movie, everything I'm talking about in here is gonna be kind of a form of spoiler, so you should not watch this video if you have not seen the movie. So don't watch this video if you have not seen Infinity War. I have now seen Infinity War 4 times, and obviously I will be looking down at my notes, so whenever you catch me looking down, that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to be like rude to the camera. So yeah. So the first thing I want to talk about, because I'm not gonna do this like I said, like I usually do in my reviews. When I'm reviewing a movie, I would do it from beginning to end, but because this is just a random like discussion type of thing, I'm just gonna do it as how it's written down on my notes. And the biggest things, not things, the biggest thing, blah. The biggest thing that people are talking about, because so many things happen in the movie with so many people in the movie, is Peter Quill, when obviously they're on Titan, and he basically, in that scenario, he basically caused everyone to die, and a lot of people are really mad about it. And I just want to say, let's not forget that Peter is half human, right? So he acted on emotions. He just found out that his girlfriend died. I feel like a lot of people are like trying to like blame him, and it's not really his fault. He was acting on emotion, and I feel like people are not thinking logically, right? If most of us, if we're in that situation, that's what we would do. The perfect example that I can think of, because we are talking about the MCU here, is Tony. Tony's behind him saying, think about this, but Tony would have done the exact same thing if it was Pepper, and Tony has done the exact same thing, like where he just acted on just emotions, because hello, Civil War, are we all forgetting that happened? When he realized that it was Bucky that killed his parents years and years ago, and that was Bucky being brainwashed. He knew that was Bucky being brainwashed, but he didn't care. So what is the difference between that and the way Quill acted in that moment when he literally just found out that the girl he loves is killed by the father that no one can stand? I'm pretty sure most of us, especially Tony Stark, would have done worse. Like, I don't care what anybody say. I don't think Peter is, like, in the moment, yes, it's like, oh, Peter, come on. But most of us would have done the exact same thing. And the last person that should be giving anybody advice on what not to do is Tony Stark. So, and let's not forget, Doctor Strange did say it was 14,605 different ways or different outcomes. I can't speak. Different outcome, and they only win one. So even if Peter didn't do that, they would still have lost. So they wouldn't have won the fight. Even if Peter didn't do anything like that, they would have still lost. Okay, move on to the other Peter. At the end of the movie, when they were all dusting, I feel like this is what the internet has now talked about. This is the term we have given the people that turned into ashes. We have called it dusting. I think it affected a lot of people, but I feel like because, you know, I'm somewhat a movie buff and we already know what's coming next, right? Because Peter was the last person besides the credits, like after the movie credits, besides Maria Hill and what's his name, Nick, dusting. Peter, I think, was the last person to dust. And it didn't really have an emotional effect on me. As soon as I saw Black Panther dust, I was like, oh, okay, all these people are coming back to life. This is not real, especially because we know Disney is gonna have a Black Panther too. And this is the MCU we're talking about, and if this is gonna be in the next phase, because I have a prediction that obviously Ant-Man, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, all of them are gonna be in the next phase, like, you know, so like the reigning phase people, they're all, and Peter Parker, they're all gonna have like the second wave or phase 4, whatever. So they're definitely like not dead, and because we know they're getting their own movies, so it's just kind of like, I don't know. It wasn't, I feel like if I didn't know anything about that, and if I was just a regular moviegoer that just likes the movies and didn't care about any other thing, didn't know what was happening in the next year with MCU movies and Sony and Fox, I just think I would have been shattered. My feelings would have been hurt. But because we know this is gonna happen, it didn't affect me. And I know that sucks to say, but it didn't affect me. I mean, you know, it depends what happens in Avengers 4, but I don't think they're just gonna kill Black Panther. And Peter has there's a Spider-Man 2 coming next year. We already know that. We don't know when the next Black Panther is gonna come out, unless they do this thing where, I don't know what the next Spider-Man movie is gonna be called, but unless they're saying that movie is before Infinity War, which to me they should have it before Infinity War instead of after, it wouldn't make sense for the Spider-Man movie. And for Black Panther, unless they plan on doing something that he's like the King of the Dead, and you know his next movie is gonna be set in Necropolis, I don't think they're ready to take the fans there. I feel like because a lot of people are still like in love with this whole Black Panther thing, I don't think they will even go there. I feel like Necropolis is something that people that read the comics already know about. So I feel like it might be a little far-fetched for just regular moviegoers. So I don't think they're gonna do anything about Black Panther being King of the Dead. And Shuri can be the next Black Panther, but that's not the direction I think they were even going for in the first movie. And I think at this stage that we have Shuri in, she's too young. She's only supposed to be 16 right now. She was not 16 when she became a queen in the comic books. So yeah, I just scratch that. I don't think they're gonna do that at all whatsoever. So the emotional thing people were feeling, I didn't feel it. I was like, ooh, oh, they did that, but I wasn't like, oh my god, they killed Peter. It was his performance, Tom Holland's performance was really, really amazing. It was really good. It wasn't any performance issue. I just didn't feel that emotional impact that we were supposed to feel. I didn't feel it. So the next thing I kind of want to touch on, which a couple of people have mentioned, and I've seen this movie 4 times, and I did not get any inclination of this happening. And it's the fact that Natasha, Black Widow, and Cap are together. Why? I don't want them to be together. The relationship that they've established with Natasha and Steve is that they're kind of like, you know, brother and sister. I've never seen them, I've never thought of them being together, and the fact that people have mentioned it, more than one person has mentioned it, like a lot of people have mentioned this, and I'm just like, I didn't see any chemistry. But it goes to show, like, they've been stuck together for 2 years. Who else are they getting? Because they're like on the run, undercover. Who else are they're not dating anyone else, right? I don't want them to be together. I think that would annoy me. I do not want them to be together. I don't want them to be together. And Natasha is always trying to hook Steve up with other people. I just think they should leave it as like brother-sister relationship where he just genuinely really cares about her, you know, sees her as a younger sister. Because anybody that Steve dates is a younger sister because he's 100 years old. Like, let's be honest. But I just don't want it to be Natasha. I don't. I know a lot of people don't. I like where they were going with Banner and Natasha. I like that chemistry more than I like Steve and Natasha being together. I just don't want... I ship Natasha and Bruce together. I do not ship Natasha and Cap together. I don't know. I just... No. I'm not here for that. I am not here for that. And speaking of Bruce, I don't know why this is a question. I mean, I guess it's valid, but I just think it's, to me anyway, I think it's very obvious. A lot of people online have been talking about and asking, why didn't the Hulk come out every time Bruce told him to come out? It's pretty obvious. In all the movies that we have seen, everybody that the Hulk has fought, because he's so strong. There's no one that's stronger than the Hulk, right? So far. And getting hit for like 2 seconds or 1 minute, it doesn't count as being beaten. This time, Thanos beat his ass, okay? And nowhere has the Hulk been a skilled fighter. He's just really, really strong, and he just smashes. Literally, we know Hulk smash. That's it. He smashes everything that's in his way. So I don't think it's really hard for us to understand why he was like not coming back out, because Thanos beat his ass. We saw how scared he was when he fell. He was scared, and he wasn't, like, he got hurt. It's just, I'm just not, I think he's going through like a PTSD kind of thing. I don't think it's shocking that he's going through that. I think it makes perfect sense why the Hulk wouldn't come out after, for the first time in his entirety, or since he has existed, he actually got beat. And I don't remember, if I see this movie again, it's gonna be a problem. But I don't remember Thanos even using the Power Stone. Like a lot of people are saying he was using it. I don't think he did. I just think it shows from the beginning of the movie, they wanted you to know how incredibly powerful Thanos is. And I feel like, according to the movies, they dumped his power down, because Thanos is strong as fuck. Like, he is strong. Even without the stones. He is so strong, and then with the stones, literally can conquer the world, literally. But he's so strong, and I feel like in the beginning of the movie they needed to establish that, and they did just that. I don't think it was like I don't know, I just thought it made sense why the Hulk didn't come out. He probably was going through like, I'm not doing this anymore. Or another theory that I've been seeing some people speculate about is that he's tired of being used as a tool for the Avengers to just use him as a fighting tool. But I don't think that would make any sense, because everybody else, all the Avengers or whatever you want to call them, all the heroes, they always put their life online. Their life on the line whenever something happens. They're always willing to fight to save, you know, to preserve humanity or to save the city or whatever. So I don't feel like the Hulk thinks he's being used as a tool. You're strong, and if you're going to be part of this team, we're going to utilize your strength. But he has PTSD. That's why he's not coming out. But I think because they emphasize so much on him not coming out this movie, I think in Avengers 4, he's going to be a fucking beast. I think he's going to be a beast. I think we're going to see Hulk be so angry, so strong, because you never really see, like, there's no limit, there's no cap to his strength. And I just think in the next movie, he's going to get angrier and angrier, and he's going to be a beast. Mark my words. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Soul Stone. This is the biggest thing I feel like a lot of people have been talking about is the Soul Stone. And the people that got dusted are trapped in a Soul Stone. And I've kind of been annoyed by some reviews that I've been seeing that people are like, oh, it's just going to be a way for Marvel to have a cop-out if they bring those people back from if they're trapped in a Soul Stone. And it's like, no. He was able to kill all those people before and kill like all the universes and all that stuff because he never had the Soul Stone. He didn't get the Soul Stone. And now that he did, I wrote something down, and I'm paraphrasing, but it's something that from the comic books, Adam Warlock said, right? Paraphrasing here. The Soul Stone, according to Adam Warlock, is to steal and to store. The stone wants and craves souls. It can preserve the soul, someone's soul for life after death. So is Gamora really dead? We know the people that dusted are not dead. I also think a lot of people are having a hard time believing. I don't think Vision is completely dead, right? There's a reason why they show Shuri working on Vision. There's a purpose for that, because if it was going to be useless, if he was just going to die and not come back, that would be irrelevant to this movie that's so packed with so many people. There was a reason that they showed Shuri downloading or trying to attempt to take his the stone out. I think in the next movie, just like in the comic books, remember when Thanos like just went in his forehead and just took the stone out of his forehead and he was colorless? I know they went with gray, but like in the comic books, he's white. He has no color. So I feel like that would be the downloaded version of him that will come back. Whatever Shuri was able to do, because she didn't get to finish, but she was able to do something. Let's not act like Shuri is not one of the most intelligent people in the MCU right now. So I think she was very well capable of bringing Visions, not the Vision we have now, but like to just upload a copy and we're still gonna have Vision again without the stone. And you know, unfortunately, if they go by the way of the comic books, he's not going to remember the relationship he had with Scarlet Witch. So I think it's very possible that we're getting Vision back. may not be the exact same Vision we know or that we have now, but I think we're gonna get Vision back. I don't see why that is not a thing that people are thinking about, but I think we're gonna get Vision back. So the next thing I want to talk about is the CGI in this movie. The CGI in this movie, oh my god, it was so amazing. This movie was so good. The CGI in this movie, oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. Like, the CGI on Thanos, like when he was like smirking, the way his mouth moved, what they did with his skin, because we know Thanos is supposed to have impenetrable skin. The way they made his skin, like, you could see the texture, but he didn't have human skin, like how you could see the transparency in our skin. It wasn't the same, but it was able to differentiate him as being from Titan and from someone that was a human being. His tears, whenever he had like any type of motion on his face, like anguish, smirk, just the motion capture in his face, it just seemed like they put Josh Brolin in costume and that was it. It did not seem like it was CGI. It was so, to me, it was so good. Oh my god, I cannot get over how good it was. And oh, this was so good. Even like, I don't know if a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of people noticed when the gauntlet was like ruined, which I think Doctor Strange had something to do with the time stone. Remember, he mentioned that he put a spell on it. Anyway, when the gauntlet on his, like the left hand, the way it was wrecked, and you could like the whole left side of his body and his neck, just the CG in this movie was just really good. And you know what, why couldn't they have given that same CG team to Black Panther, so we could have gotten, because some of the CG in Black Panther, and if you've seen my review, you know I love me some Black Panther. I cannot wait to get a DVD tomorrow, because yes, tomorrow the 8th I will be in Best Buy tomorrow to pick up my Black Panther DVD. But they could have let Black Panther have some of that CG, because the CG in Black Panther was a little but I'm just like really incredibly happy about the CG in this movie. I know I need to stop saying it. The CG was amazing. That's all I have to say about that. So the next thing I want to touch on is people saying they don't feel like this was a, how do I say it, a complete movie. And people are saying that because, honestly, let's be honest, you're saying that because the villain won. This was a very complete movie, and then it's like when I see part 4, I'm gonna know it's a part 4. It's a story that continues, but it's still a part 4. It's not like, oh, like, it's not like when they do the 3rd installments of movies that like they've been doing, like what is the name of that franchise? The Hunger Games, where the 3rd movie was split into 2. It wasn't like that. This was like a solid movie, and people are mad and they feel like it wasn't finished because the villain won. No one ever says this about Civil War. Like Civil War, the villain Zemo won. This is why Cap and Iron Man are not friends now. Like, come on, let's be honest. I mean, amongst other things, but if you feel like, excuse me, if you feel like that was a complete movie, this was a complete movie. A lot of people are just butthurt that Thanos was like, nah, I'm strong, and with these stones, I'm stronger, so you gonna get used to it, and I won. That's it. Even though we all know, well, not all of us, but if you read the comics, we know the smirk and the way that ending happened was after he lost and he was a farmer. So, but No, they changed it up a little bit, but I feel like this was a complete movie. It had a story from beginning to end. Oh, speaking of stories, I feel like a lot of people are also, not I feel, I've seen that a lot of people are saying, well, no one really has a story in this movie. They've been building their stories for 10 years because that's why Iron Man has his own movie. That's why Thor had his own movie. That's why Cap had his own movie. That's why Doctor Strange had his own movie. That's why Guardians, like, are you serious? Everyone has had their story to tell. This was a way for us to see the story from Thanos' side. Not that he's wrong. I mean, not that he's right, because he's wrong. He's delusional as fuck. But he's still a villain, and I don't want to say this is a Thanos movie, but this was us getting the side from the villain, right? He was telling his story. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Black Order. Oh my god. I know I just had like a 2-minute rant on how amazing the CG for this movie was. Everybody in the Black Order looked just like the comic books. Everybody except Proxima Midnight. We're going to talk about that down the line. But I loved how beautifully ugly Ebony Maw looked in the movie, because that's how he looks in the comics. I thought that was like spot on. Same thing with the Cull Obsidian, aka the Black Dwarf, and Corvus Glaive. They all look just like the comic books. Oh my god, it was so, when I saw them in the movie, when I saw Ebony Maw, I was just like, yes, this is what comic book, movie, CG, whatever, visual effects are made of. Like, I was so happy, and I was just like, every time I saw the movie, I was like, this is so cool. They look just like from the comic books, except, like I said, from Proxima Midnight. She was the only one out of the Black Order that I did not like. And I also I haven't researched this, but I also want to know why Supergiant wasn't in there. Was it because she looked, I don't know, does she look like Nebula? She looked like a blue and black tiger to me, with the cowl, whatever. I just want to know why she wasn't in there. Was it because it was already too many people in there, or it just didn't really tie into the story from like Infinity, or I don't know, but she was missing from the Black Order. Now Proxima Midnight, I am going to show you guys obviously on the screen the difference between what she looked like in the movie and what she looked like in the comic books. So I'm about to have a rant in 1, 2, 3. I know that a lot of people, mostly women, have problem, and I'm not trying to like call anyone out, always have a problem with the way women in comics are drawn. They're always drawn to be like super sexy and like really, really pretty and like beautiful and barely have anything on and blah blah blah, and they're just always like ridiculously sexy, right? Whatever. I never had a problem with that, because to be honest, a lot of the men, and it doesn't even matter if it's like Marvel, DC, just any comic books, 98% of the time in comic books, the men are always sexy. They always have abs, unless they're unless they're like alien, or like they're just drawn on purpose to be like maybe fat and like do crazy things. The men in the comic books are always drawn to be really, really good looking, abs, super sexy, super smart, all these crazy great things, right? Why can't the women be the same way? Like, why do you feel like just because you have naturally been exposed to over sexualization of women in America, that you see a woman drawn on the page and she looks amazing, that you feel like it's objectifying women? I don't see it like that. There are plenty of things that objectify women, but I just feel like if men can be sexy and amazingly good looking in the comic books, give the same to the women. Let that be equal. I'm not saying that they should be naked, because sometimes video games are guilty of this. But comic books, it's like, whatever. Like, they can choose to change their own costume if they wanted to. But if the men can be sexy, the women should have agency to also be sexy. Now that I've mentioned all of that, in Infinity, because I'm rereading Infinity right now, in Infinity, Proxima Midnight, we don't really see her whole face, but she has a nice body. And, you know, she has like her cowl, and her face is blue. In the movie, she's like this boxy, robotic, ugly, gray person. And then she had that like black stripe, and they couldn't even get her mask right. And it's like, if you can give Hela and Ragnarok a cowl, where is Proxima's basic cowl? Because her cowl is not that, I know she's not a main character, but like everybody else, I don't know, whatever. I just wanted her to be like as sexy or as pretty or deadly as she was in the comic books. Like, they made Ebony Maw, and they didn't do that for her, and I felt some type of way about that. Every time I saw the movie, I was just like, ugh, come on. If you guys are gonna give all the villains like really cool looking things, make her cool too, like she is in the comic books. And they didn't do that, and that is the end of my rant. Because I keep going, but I won't. Anywho, there is, I just feel like for me, a lot of things that are like common sense after seeing this movie 4 times, to other people I'm like, why is this a question? But we all think differently, so it's fine. People are saying if, what is the, Groot, if he's able to pick up the Stormbreaker, that means he's worthy. One, the Stormbreaker is not Stormbreaker until he cut off his arm. So he just like picked up the pieces to forge the arm, the arm of the Stormbreaker, but it wasn't a whole weapon. I had a brain fart, sorry. It wasn't a whole weapon until he cut it off and it dropped, because he didn't pick it up after that. And when Thor was laying on the ground, the weapon came to him. It wasn't like he had to like get up and go pick it up, or it wasn't like Groot had to go pick it up. And like, I just feel like with his hammer, even though Odin had put that spell on it, like whoever's worthy is the only person that can pick up this hammer. And we know, obviously, Easter egg, they tied it into the comic book for Stormbreaker, because that's just a cool thing to do. But it wasn't Stormbreaker until he cut off his arm and it fell on the floor and it became its own weapon. And I think it still goes for the hammer, even though there's no spell. There is a reason. Thor even mentioned it on the ship before him and Groot and Rocket left, when Peter was asking, shouldn't we all get the Thanos killing kind weapon, blah blah blah. And Thor mentioned something like it would be too powerful for them or something like, but no one would have been able to lift it up. Groot is not worthy. No one is worthy but Thor. And I feel like in what they've shown us in the movie, either people really underestimate Thor, or people just don't know how powerful, like how insanely powerful Thor is. I don't think people understand that. Like, besides him being like a literal god, he is so powerful. So I don't know why people think anybody can just lift his hammer, or anybody can just lift Stormbreaker besides Thor. So I feel like either there's a misunderstanding, or people are just underestimating the power of Thor. So I think that is probably gonna be the end of this. If you guys like me talking about this and just let's dissect the fuck out of this movie, like this video, leave some comments down. I probably will make another video, because it's fun to talk about. It's still fresh. We've been waiting for this for so long. If people want to make like 15 videos on Infinity War on their channels, let them do so. Don't be shady. Do whatever you want. But I kind of want to talk about, before the end of this video, I want to talk about the suits and some questions. At this point, we're all calling Peter Iron Spider, right? Because why? I don't know. I feel like I'm 50-50 on his new suit. Like, I don't know why we need to have Spider-Man have an AI. Like, he's literally the Spider-Man version of Tony. What is the difference? If you can tell me the actual difference, like if you can give me concrete differences, maybe then I'll be on board. But it's like, Spider-Man is already cool. Now we're making him into Spider-Man Tony Jr.? I mean, what? Whatever. But I liked it, and especially when his claws came out. I know a lot of people weren't really surprised because they've already seen what his new suit would look like because of the Hot Toys. But I didn't see it up until I saw the movie, so I thought that was really cool. I was like, ooh. Like, literal spider. In the first, not the first fight scene, but the first fight scene with Tony, with Ebony Maw and all that stuff in New York City, when Tony was transforming into his new nano suit, I swear to God, as soon as he transformed, I was like, instantly, it reminded me of the Sentinels from Days of Our Future Past. I felt like the design, or even that thing that, I don't remember what it's called, in the Dark World. Was it a Dark World? Oh, it was the first Thor movie. It was the first Thor movie. The silver thing, I don't know, his suit was just shaped like that. Like, he reminded me, like, the silhouette of the suit just looked, it was really nice. It looked beautiful. It just really instantly reminded me of what the Sentinels looked like. Who else had something cool? We know Cap is now looking like a nomad. We even see the tattered, you know how like in the comic books, Steve's uniform is just like the scales, you know, that's under, like if you see, I noticed it. And a lot of people noticed it. It's not just something that I noticed. A lot of people noticed it too, where under what he has on now, like the tattered part, you can see the scales, and I was just like, ah, see what you did there. I also thought that was very cool. Scarlet Witch, I mean not Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, poor her, she just has like gadget and weaponry and just nothing cool has really happened with Black Widow, and that's really sad. Besides that, she dyed her hair blonde, because I'm guessing because she's undercover, but whatever. Yeah, nothing cool really happened with her. Sam is still pretty cool. Who else? We all saw Bucky get his new vibranium arm, and it just reminds me of Rocket. I can't. I feel like there's that little part that a lot of people didn't hear when he was like, I'm gonna get that arm. I thought it was funny. Rocket always makes me laugh. Drax was pretty cool. The Guardians were pretty cool in this movie. Also, side note, Gamora's death also didn't affect me like that. I don't know why no one's death affected me. I will say though, when Thanos stabbed when Thanos stabbed Tony, I thought he was gonna die. I was like, oh, that got me. But then he didn't die. I was like, whew. So yeah, a couple of questions I have. Does Elizabeth Olsen think, and I'm just speculating here, or I just have questions. Was it her that made the decision of not wanting to have an accent? Was it the team? Was it Marvel? Was it Disney? Because sis, how long have you been in this country that you now know you no longer have an accent? questions. Why doesn't she have an accent anymore? Because sometimes, if it is her, sometimes I feel like some of these actresses, they get so big, they feel like they could just do whatever they want. And it's like, when you're obligated to be a character, stick to that shit. She has an accent, find a dialect coach and hone in on your accent. Even if it was like there a little bit, she didn't even try. She was just like, yeah, what's up, y'all? Wait, I'm sorry, what? Are you no okay. Whatever. I don't know what, I'm gonna show you guys a picture to see what I'm talking about, but I don't remember what issue this changed. Why was the Soul Stone in the movie not purple like it is in the comic books? That bothered me a lot. Because I think it bothered me a lot because I thought, one, the Soul Stone would be in Wakanda, and I thought, hey, ancestral plane, the purple sky, heart-shaped herb being purple. You know, I thought that would be a thing together. And my feelings was hurt. They were hurt when I was like, it's on Vorm. And it's not purple. Okay. You know, there are things, because I'm very observant with stuff like that. I'm like, so why is this doesn't look like, okay. Okay. My next question is, what did I write? I know some of the characters that were on Titan, they had like a sensory implant thing. But why were they all able to just breathe on Titan like that? And why was Thanos able to, well, Thanos don't make no sense because he's like a villain, alien, god, whatever. So I guess he can breathe anywhere, especially when you now have all the stones. But why was everyone able to just breathe in outer space? Because Titan is an alien universe or alien planet. Why are we just able to breathe willy-nilly? Doctor Strange was able to breathe on Titan. I mean, Peter Quill did mention something about the axis being 8 degrees, 8 measures. I don't remember what he said. It was 8 something off. But they didn't really explain why they all could just breathe fine on Titan. Was it just me that had that? I was just like, anyway, my comments. I don't know. After I went to go see this movie, though, 3 times, I told myself I wasn't going to see it anymore, that I was good, right? And then I was at work talking about it with my coworkers, and it was just like, when you're talking about it, you get so excited, and it's just like, oh my god, I need to. And then my coworker's like, I haven't seen it, let's go. And I was like, we should just go after work. So I saw it a 4th time. I will say, so my experiences, because I saw it 4 times, as you will hear me say a lot in this video, sorry about that. The first time I saw it, this is why I feel like certain movies are so important when you go see them at the theater instead of just like watching it at home. The movie going experience to me is very important because I love movies. But especially for movies like this, like I feel like huge blockbuster movies, it's just amazing when you see it with an audience that shares the same fandom as you. Like when me and my best friend went to go see it on Thursday. When you're a movie buff, Thursday is opening night. Let's just be honest. We saw it in a really large theater, and every joke, everything that happened, everyone was reacting to it. And we saw it standard. I wanted to get us IMAX tickets, but they were all sold out, like for the day. Like all the theaters that were close to me, they were all sold out in IMAX. And they don't really show IMAX like every other 15 minutes like they do standard movie times, especially for big movies like this. So I didn't see it in IMAX the first time, but the next day I saw it in IMAX and I was like, whoa. And then the third time I went to go see it with somebody else that didn't see it, we saw it in Dolby. And I feel like from now on, every single blockbuster movie I will only watch in Dolby, because that experience, that picture, the sound, oh my god. The audience, the second time and the third time I went, I will say, even though it was better picture quality and sound and all that, the audience, they were a little dry. But the first time I went to go see it Thursday night, oh my god. After the movie, we were all like outside, people were having discussions, and I was just like, oh my god, you guys rock. But if you haven't seen this movie, honestly, I'm sure you're not watching this, because why are you here? Why did you let me spoil that for you if you have not seen this movie, right? But I want to thank you guys for watching, and I think I may make another Infinity War video, just if people have questions, and if you guys have questions, if you guys want to talk about something some more. I'm sure nobody will want to, because there's so many videos on there out there right now. But if you want to, leave me a comment, leave me some questions. If you want me to make another video answering some questions, or just want to see what my thoughts are, leave them down below. And if you like my channel so far, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Peace.